Thank you, David. It's really hard to believe it's been a year since I last stood on this stage and looked out at a sea of graduates and guests. Time passes much too quickly, but so many good things have happened here at Liberty during the past year. First, I'd like to begin by recognizing my family, starting with my beautiful wife, Becky. Just last week, we were in a department store in New York, and I spotted the perfect dress to commemorate Liberty's best year of athletic achievement ever. I bought it for Becky, and it took me a while, but I finally convinced her to wear it today. Becky, would you stand in your Liberty Flames dress? I think it's very fitting that she's wearing that dress because I believe she's the hottest first lady at any college in the country. When our children were young, Becky and I were both in the background as my father was the public face of Liberty. But 12 years ago, this coming Wednesday, my father died suddenly and our lives changed forever. Becky immediately took on a public role as First Lady of this university. She's done an amazing job caring for our students, supporting me. So thank you, Becky. I couldn't do it without you. My younger son, Wesley, and his wife, Laura, gave us our first grandchild last winter, Virginia Rose, who's on the front row here. And she got kissed on the cheek by former President Jimmy Carter last year here at Commencement. This winter, our firstborn son, Trey, and his wife, Sarah, gave us our second granddaughter, Reagan Elise Falwell. And maybe today the presidents will get a kiss from the vice president. We'll have to see. You can't let Jimmy Carter out, do you, Mr. Vice President? My daughter, Caroline, just turned 19 and finished her first year of classes here at Liberty. She lived on campus, and we hardly ever saw her except when she needed her mom to do her laundry. She's made so many new friends, absolutely loves college life. She never studied acting, but was actually chosen to do a commercial for one of the largest private Christian schools in the nation last month in California. Would all of my family please stand? And hold those babies up. I have a niece and a nephew graduating today. My sister Jeannie's son Paul is graduating summa cum laude in chemistry and plans to attend graduate school at Liberty's School of Engineering this fall under our new dean, Mark Hortzmeyer. Paul, would you please stand as well? He asked me to mention too that he's still single and in the market. My brother Jonathan's daughter, Jessica, is graduating summa cum laude today with a degree in elementary education, which I think is the perfect profession for her because she has one of the sweetest, most patient and understanding spirits possible. Unlike Paul, however, she is taken. Her boyfriend, Matthew Holcomb, is graduating with her. Would both of you please stand? As your uncle, I'm so proud of all of you. I'm blessed to have a family that is so supportive of me. They're a large reason why this has been one of the greatest years of my life. We are honored to have with us on the stage today Dr. Pierre Gilman, who served as the president of Liberty University from 1971 to 1996, and still retains the title of President Emeritus. As he did at many commencement ceremonies in the past, today he'll be delivering the final charge to the graduates. Dr. Gilman still lives locally and was instrumental during our formative years in creating the university that exists here today. Please welcome Dr. Gilman. I also would like to take this opportunity to recognize a few of our special graduates. First, Kevin Richard. I remember my father saying that one of his dreams was to have an educational system when he founded this university in 1971 where a student could go from preschool to a PhD all within a Christian environment. I believe that Kevin is the first graduate to do just that. He started preschool at LCA at age 2. When he graduated kindergarten, he had his picture taken with my father. I believe it's on the screen. But after LCA, he came to Liberty, completed his undergraduate, 2 master's degrees, and today he graduates with a PhD in apologetics. His mother, Chris, was the homecoming queen that represented my graduating class of 1980 at Liberty Christian Academy, and the entire Richard family has played a key role in the history of this institution. Congratulations, Kevin. Second, Kelia Overcast graduates today with her nursing degree. She's the daughter of Brian and Maria. Like Chris Richard, I graduated from LCA and Liberty with Brian and proud of his work in Mexico. He founded and leads community centers there where 1,100 low-income children and adults attend each week. He's a great example of our incredible alumni, and we're glad to welcome him back home today with us, and congratulations to you, Kelia. It's heartwarming to see another generation of Liberty students, of Liberty University's history, fulfilling the original vision. Finally, for some families, this day is so special because it symbolizes triumph after tragic, life-changing events. I was waiting at the drugstore last week for a prescription when I met Tanya Andrews, the mother of one of today's graduates. She saw me sitting off to the side enjoying a bag of Cheetos, my favorite snack, and she felt that meant I was approachable because Cheetos are her favorite snack. So she told me about her daughter Paige, a nursing graduate today. 9 years ago, the Andrews family was in a terrible car crash not far from here. Paige's father was killed instantly. The others recovered from their injuries, but Tanya immediately became responsible for raising her daughters and providing for their education. Paige is graduating from the nursing school today because she was inspired by the nurses who took care of her after the accident. Tanya's younger daughter, Cammie, is studying business here. Paige already has a job at a local hospital where she will care for the hurting in the cardiothoracic unit. I think I got that right, Dr. Carson. And Tanya just moved from Rocky Mount, North Carolina to Lynchburg to be near her daughters. God has truly rewarded the Andrews family for never giving up in spite of circumstances that may have caused many others to throw in the towel. I'm glad the Andrews girls chose Liberty because the history of this university is almost a direct parallel to what the Andrews faced and overcame with God's help. Congratulations on Paige. Last night at Baccalaureate service, we had a great time. We honored Anthony Nobles. Dr. Jerry Vine delivered an incredible message. He was also officiated over my father's funeral along with Franklin Graham in 2007. But Anthony Nobles was awarded an honorary doctorate from Liberty. Starting this fall, he will begin working with our Center for Entrepreneurship, helping students to understand and build an entrepreneurial spirit no matter what their vocation. What we really want to do is teach students how to think like entrepreneurs, not just to go out and get a job, wait for the end of the week for their paycheck, but to really look for ways to add value, to pursue ideas, and problem solve. Also, not to be afraid to fail and try again, because that's how this school started from scratch in 1971 and became the world-class university you see today. There's a saying that don't exchange a walk-on part in the war for a lead role in a cage. That's a quote from the lyrics of the song Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd. And I've used it at graduation before, but it really has a true meaning. But Tony has invented 155 life-saving medical devices, including one that repaired my heart in September after Dr. Ben Carson told me about his groundbreaking technology and invention. Anthony, could you come up for just a minute, tell us the story of what gave you the idea for my heart device? And Dr. Carson, could you add a few comments about your relationship with Anthony?
Well, just so you know, I don't get to use a teleprompter because he just told me this last night that I'll be doing this, so I'll give it my best shot. I had the opportunity many times in my life to design and develop medical devices. It was my calling to be able to use that skill to help people. But like any entrepreneur, I started with nothing except a great wife who helped me design and build these. And along the way, like an entrepreneur, what we did many times is, how are we going to make payroll? We've had that discussion before when he started this university, or his dad started it, and they worked together. Same thing, how are you going to make payroll? We had a big customer, wasn't making their bills to us, and they said, well, fly to Belgium. And if you come to Belgium tomorrow, we can have a meeting. And I'm thinking, I can't afford a ticket to Belgium. And so I went there. And he said, look, you've been doing great neurosurgery devices for really smart doctors, but we need your help to figure out something to fix the arteries in the leg. And I said, well, okay, if I do that, will you make payroll? And he said, yeah, I'll do that for you. I said, okay, what do you want? And he told me, we've been trying for years to figure out a way to close the femoral artery. And I said, okay, give me 24 hours. And they had just opened Euro Disney, which is one of my greatest inspirations. I go to Disneyland to invent things. And I ran, took a train, went from Belgium to Disneyland, walked around, and I had a vision. I saw the Indiana Jones new ride with a double roller coaster, and as God would say, there was that vision. I saw the suture, and I ran back trying to find things to take apart on Main Street. Can I buy toys, take them apart? There were no 3D printers, by the way. And so what I found was a glass blower. And I went to the glass blower and said, I need your help, I need your help. And I don't speak French. And he said, well, that's okay, I'm from California here anyway. So that worked out pretty well. He spent 4 hours blowing my vision out of glass. And at the end I said, this is incredible, thank you, this is gonna save my company. I really appreciate it, how much do you want? And he said, nothing, just go save a life with this. And I said, I promise I will. And so from there, I took that, got back on that train, went back to Belgium, put it on the desk and said, there you go. And he's like, oh wow, that really works. And I said, yeah, can we get paid? And he said, I'll make sure you get paid. So I went back to California. That company took off. We eventually took that public, that company, for about $250 million from that little vision. Later, I had this other idea of how I could take that artery suturing system and put it in the heart. So I bought that company back, and we began to develop that instrument. And I can honestly say that through hard work, never giving up, even though we failed a couple of times on the way there, that company succeeded, and we did save now about 2,000 lives with this technology, including one sitting here. So I hope to impart on you that feeling of entrepreneurialism. It doesn't matter if you're a doctor or a lawyer in seminary, we're gonna help you see that goal, that as you go out with your careers, you can invent anything. You can do anything. I know people say that like a cliche, but if you don't give up, because you will fail sometimes, and you can't be an entrepreneur if you don't fail, and then you will succeed, and then you can do that same thing and affect other people that are great in their lives. Thank you.
Well, you know, I got to know Dr. Nobles several years ago. And one of the things that impressed me most about him is that he's always looking for a new and better way to do things. And, you know, I used to get into a little bit of controversy myself in my medical career because I was always looking for new and different things. But the thing to take away from this is it takes courage to strike out on a new limb when everybody else is doing the same thing, when everybody else wants to conform. And you're going to have many opportunities in your life to manifest that courage. And it's particularly important in our country right now because there are forces of political correctness that want you to shut up and not express what you believe. And we cannot allow our country to be deprived of the Judeo-Christian values that made it into a great nation. And you know, the accomplishments of Dr. Nobles is just one example of what can happen if you're willing to put in God's hands the talent that He has provided to you. You all will be a tremendous force for this nation. You will be the ones who will help us to save America. Thank you so much.
Tony, I was glad to see you were a little nervous with public speaking, because I was a little nervous when I was lying on that table. And you were putting that device in my heart while I was wide awake, but I got you back. After building a huge church against all odds in a small town, I remember at age 8 hearing my father announce his plans in a church service to start a Christian university to provide a world-class education to young people from all over the world. My mom thought it was too risky and tried to dissuade him. But as my wife can attest, we Falwells are not good listeners. So you're here today because of an entrepreneur who loved people. God built that entrepreneurial DNA into my father, who learned it from his father and his grandfather. And then Dad mentored many of us with that same spirit. Graduates, I hope that your time at Liberty has also placed that spirit, including a real love for people, in all of you. Liberty was built by entrepreneurs who took huge risks. And if you do that in your life and are not afraid of failing, you'll be shocked at what you can accomplish, just like what Dr. Carson just said. Liberty has had a remarkable run the past 12 years. 2 years ago, as we wrapped up the final convocation, Pastor David Nasser made a strong case for us to see this past year as being one of the best in our school's history. And if that's the case, then you students and graduates get the credit, because it was your accomplishments in the classroom, on the athletic field, and through acts of service and worship which have made this the best year we've ever seen. We've been focusing on strengthening our academics and hiring the deans and building the programs and partnerships that can help us do just that. Our goal is to make our students highly employable so that they hit the market running. We've had 100 reasons to be proud of our academics this year, but 2 really stand out in my mind. Liberty's medical school exceeded the national match rate for the 2nd year in a row, with 99% of our graduates obtaining residencies. That's under Dr. Peter Bell's leadership as dean. Liberty Law School, under Dean Keith Faulkner, achieved the highest bar passage rate in school history at 96%, placing us number 7 in the country, alongside Ivy League schools like Harvard and Yale, and 1 spot above my alma mater, UVA Law School, where I graduated after my Liberty years. There's no doubt in anyone's mind that our athletic program experienced its best year ever. First, our club sports teams are some of the best in the nation. Half of our club sports teams qualified for nationals, and almost 20 teams finished in the top 10. Our women's hockey won back-to-back national championships. Second, our NCAA sports programs vaulted. Yeah, go ahead, give yourselves a hand. I needed some water anyway. So. Second, our NCAA sports programs vaulted forward this year. Liberty Athletics has quickly risen to the top of the Atlantic Sun Conference during our first year as a league member. With several spring sports seasons yet to finish, Liberty has already captured 3 Atlantic Sun Conference titles this year and currently leads it's called the ASUN All Sports Standings. Our men's basketball team won a program record 29 games, headlined by the first NCAA tournament victory in program history. A first-round triumph with this first-round triumph over Mississippi State, Coach Richie McKay was honored as the National Head Coach of the Year. Last fall, our football team took to this very field for their inaugural football bowl subdivision season. That was our goal for 45 years, was to get up to the highest level of the NCAA in football. We thought we'd be lucky to win 4 games, but we ended up winning 6, becoming only the 9th team in NCAA history to win 6 or more games in its first year of FBS football. Football season tickets are at an all-time, sales are at an all-time high, with the excitement surrounding the hiring of new head football coach Hugh Freeze. We'll open our 2019 schedule here on August 31st against number 15 Syracuse. Campus has been transformed as we built over $1.5 billion worth of facilities over the past 12 years. But even while we did it, we also increased our endowment from 0 to $2 billion. So we're more financially sound than ever before. The annual economic impact that Liberty University has on the Lynchburg area now tops $1 billion. So what we do here as a school affects the pocketbook of tens of thousands of families throughout the area. Just this past week, I'll tell you a quick story. I had a major donor visit, and he left a check here for Liberty of $3 million, but he told me he was going to New York yesterday to sign paperwork that will finalize the gift he's making to this university very soon in the 9 figures. Now, you math majors, explain to everybody else what 9 figures means. It's a big number. And what that does for us, and what it has done for us, the financial success that we finally achieved after years of struggle, is it allows us to keep our tuition in the lowest 25% of all private universities, both online and in the resident program. And we want to make sure we're able to do that for generations to come. So every penny of that money is going, we give $230 million in financial aid to our students every year, not from the government, from Liberty University, and that's what our goal is. This also was the best year for the spiritual life and development of our student body. Students, you volunteered over 500,000 hours of service in your local communities. You responded immediately to help people who were devastated by natural disaster and tragedy across North America, making 11 trips altogether. Here at home, students heard from the best lineup of convocation speakers that we've ever had, including Alan Dershowitz, Gary Sinise, Jordan Peterson, First Lady Melania Trump. We also had more fun in convocation than ever before, as Becky and I went undercover with the former chief of disguise for the CIA and served food in the cafeteria, and only one of you spotted us, Brooke Weiland. We raced go-karts against NASCAR drivers Jimmy Johnson and William Byron. I won, by the way. And I even arm wrestled Superman actor Dean Cain, but I have a pretty good suspicion that he let me win, but he won't admit it. Convocation is part of what makes Liberty University unique. It brings the entire student body together and helps foster a sense of family on campus, as well as with our online students watching live around the world. We're also streaming Commencement today, so while I have everyone's attention, I want to share some exciting news that I just heard. First, turn your attentions toward the screens.
Hey everybody, Michael W. Smith here, backstage in Wisconsin, out here with the Deuce Boys, living the dream. And I just wanted to take the time and do a shout out to all the graduates at Liberty University. Wow, the day has come. Congrats, congrats, congrats. You might want to stick around for another couple years, because next year I'm going to be hanging out on campus. And Liberty and I have some big news on taking music to a whole other level. And it's going to be awesome. So, Godspeed, stay the course, and I will see you soon. God bless you.
Alex, go ahead. Al Denson, a famous Christian music artist who's also a good friend of mine and Becky's, and along with his family. He's also the parent of a Liberty student, AJ, and AJ's girlfriend Ellie is singing in one of the groups today. But he's been working hard since last summer, and he recruited Michael W. Smith, Kevin Jonas, father of the Jonas brothers, to begin working with our talented music. I show my age when I say Jonas Boys. Talented music students to publish records and to get their art into the world. We're very excited about this new initiative, and my friend Al says he will have the Jonas Brothers at Liberty University this fall, and if it doesn't work out, I'll tweet out his cell number for all of you to harass him. We have been blessed with so much here at Liberty, and when we consider all the accomplishments that have been made, we know that so many of them were accomplished by our incredible students, faculty, and staff, and we thank you all for working so hard to make this a truly amazing school year. Now I'd like to honor two very special people. the first presentation of the ceremony. I would like to invite Dan Reber and Jimmy Thomas to join me at the podium. If you know the story of Liberty, you know that we experienced financial hardship as we tried to build up our campus in the earlier years. There were times when we weren't sure if we were going to stay open, but we had many faithful friends who knew that the work that God was doing here was something very special. I worked closely with many of these special friends, including Dan Reber, Jimmy Thomas, President Emeritus Pierre Gilman, as the General Counsel for the first 20 years of my career before becoming president in 2007. Dan Reber and Jimmy Thomas are local businessmen who caught the vision for Liberty and stepped up to support us at a very critical time. Graduates, you know their names best from the dining hall here on campus. We started construction on that facility in 1990, but it sat unfinished a year later. Funds had dried up. And at the time, Mr. Reber and Mr. Thomas were owners of RST Marketing, a fundraising and direct mail company in nearby Forest, Virginia. They donated the $1.4 million needed to finish the project in 1992. In the following years, they gave generously to help relieve our debt and allow the university to gain solid financial footing. They even placed liens against their personal assets and homes in order to borrow money to buy our debts and forgive them. Without their intervention, this school likely would not have survived. They have remained faithful supporters ever since, playing a key role in helping us fulfill the vision of becoming a world-class university. In recognition of their commitment to Christian principles in business and their dedication to Liberty University's mission, with the power vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Liberty University, the Doctorate of Business is hereby conferred upon both Dan Reber and Jimmy Thomas with all the rights and privileges appertaining thereunto. Would all of Dan and Jimmy's extended family please stand? I know there's so many of them. Are they up in the box or are they here? I think they are, yeah. Oh, they're up here, okay. Well, thank you for being here, and thank you, Dan and Jimmy. And now welcome the new dean of our School of Business, former U.S. Representative of Virginia in the House of Representatives, Dr. David Bratt, to the podium to help acknowledge our next honorary degree recipient.
Thank you, President Falwell. Congressman Robert Goodlatte, please join me at the podium. In January, one of the most loyal public servants in our nation and in the state of Virginia ended 13 terms in Congress. Congressman Robert Goodlatte was first elected to the U.S. House of Representatives in 1992, representing Virginia's 6th district, including Lynchburg, Roanoke, and parts of the Shenandoah Valley. He made some of his most significant contributions to this country when he served as chairman of the House Judiciary and Agriculture Committees. In his retirement announcement, Congressman Goodlatte said he's been proud to work on policies that have become law and have advanced fiscal conservatism, personal liberty, economic growth, and limited government. At Liberty, we are proud of his service as well, as he was our representative in Congress. Bob has been a true friend of Liberty. He has been a regular visitor to campus, taking time out of his busy schedule to meet with our students, share career advice, and support them in their educational goals. Congressman Goodlatte's wife, Mary Ellen, played a key role in helping Liberty navigate the financial struggles of the early 1990s as one of the university's lead outside attorneys, and we are honored that Congressman Goodlatte has chosen to house his library, correspondence, and official papers from his 26 years in Congress at Liberty University for future generations of students to access. In recognition of Congressman Goodlatte's dedication to upholding the laws and ideals that this country was founded upon, and for his years of serving the American people in Congress, with the power vested in me by President Jerry Falwell and the Board of Trustees of Liberty University, the Doctor of Laws is hereby conferred upon Robert W. Goodlatte, with all the rights and privileges appertaining thereunto.
Last night, we also honored Charlie Kirk at the Baccalaureate service. And Charlie, would you come up and just share just a few thoughts with the students about your Christian faith and advice for their future?
Thank you, Jerry. It's such an honor to be speaking to the greatest college in America. And I can say that because I visit nothing but colleges all across the country. It's an absolutely incredible honor to be here. And I can't think of an institution that better embodies the teachings of Jesus Christ than Liberty University. So to the graduates, to the staff, to the professors, to the board, thank you for the work you do for our country and for the kingdom. Jerry asked me to read this verse to you, kind of echoing some of the thoughts I gave last night from the book of Matthew. Blessed are you when others revile you and persecute you, and utter all kinds of evil against you falsely on my account. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward is great in heaven, for so they persecuted the prophets who were before you. The most important question that you can answer in your life is the question, who is Jesus Christ? Was he an act of fiction? Was he a fable? Or was he what I believe and what many people here believe, the Savior of the world and the Son of God? The answer to that question will come at a great price, yet the reward is even greater. Congratulations to the class of 2019, and thank you for the amazing honorary doctorate last night. Thank you.